I got some tea to spill, so if you're ready to chill, take a jail pill.
Hey, welcome back to Take a Jill Pill. How's it going? Hope everyone's doing great. Today is a fun and exciting episode because we have a guest, like a full guest interview, guys. You know, it's been a lot of me lately, It's been a lot of me talking nonsense to you, which I know is fun and all of that. But today we have a guest who's so awesome. I told you a few weeks ago we were going to have a therapist on in a few weeks. And I'm not trying to pigeonhole him just into being a therapist because Dr. Lee Long, who is on here today, is a friend of mine. I've gotten to know him over the last couple of years and his family, and they're just awesome people. He just wrote a book called Wait, Where Am I in This? All about like how we tend to lose ourselves in relationships and in our lives. We lose track of ourselves and we look outside of ourselves for everything. Like we look to other people for validation and for understanding, and we blame other people for things too. And we talk about this kind of a lot on the podcast. So I wanted to have him on and just introduce him to you guys because I want you to read the book and like follow him. He is such a wealth of information and just a really nice and good person. And you know me, I just like nice and good people. He also loves conspiracy theories, which happens to help. You know what I mean? So we talk a little bit about that on here. Lee has been a therapist in Texas for like almost 30 years. And he's just really good at what he does. And his book is so helpful. Like when I say this, his book has changed the way I think about my daily life situations and interactions with people. It's given me like a practical tool and question to ask when I get in my head. You know me, I'm an overthinker. I can get too in my head, too in my feels. And his book like helped me get out of that and find myself. And I truly mean that. And so I'm such a big fan of his. And then also in this episode, I asked if he would kind of do a little therapy on me in a way. So I'm getting vulnerable too a little here, guys. So he walks me through the process that he teaches in his book. And I just think you're really going to enjoy it. I think you're going to enjoy him and our conversation. And I'm excited for you to meet him. And so I'm not going to keep talking at you. I'm just going to get to it. So let's just get to it, okay? All right, here is Dr. Lee Long. I hope you enjoy the conversation. All right, I would like to welcome Dr. Lee Long. Hi, Lee.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Man, I'm so excited. I was like, would you be willing to come on my podcast? You're like a big time therapist and author. And I'm like, would you mind? Would you come on ever? And you're like, yes. Yeah, so thank you for doing that. That was awesome.
Are you kidding? This is exciting.
All right, we're going to talk a lot today about like your new book that you put out, and I love the book. There's rarely a self-help book that I read where I'm like, there's a super strong takeaway that I put into my everyday life, and I truly, with yours, have done that. So I want this audience to know about it.
Well, thank you.
But we'll get there because we do have to start. You do listen to Take a Jill Pill.
Heck yes. Faithful.
So, I know you. Thank you for that.
It's my drive to the gym.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right. I always like to know where people listen, where they're listening. But I guess my question for you to start then is this. What is your favorite Trader Joe's snack?
Okay. So I may be a little controversial on this.
Okay.
But my favorite Trader Joe, I don't have a favorite Trader Joe's snack because I joke and say it's overpriced junk food.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Which is, I know that's controversial probably. Or maybe I don't. But I've thought about it because I was like, when I think of Trader Joe's, I think of one thing. And that is the Trader Joe's Tea Tree Tingle Body Wash.
Ooh, we're going into new category here. Okay.
Yes.
Tell me more.
It's the greatest hack that I have found because I love Jack Black body wash.
Okay. I don't know it. I'm learning new things.
Jack Black body wash is so good. It smells so good. It's almost like your body wash and your cologne can all be pushed together.
Okay.
You have shampoo and conditioner, and body wash all in one. This is like cologne and body wash in one.
Okay.
Okay, but it's super expensive. But this Trader Joe's Tea Tree Tingle body wash is like as we say with all of my buddies, it's the Walmart Jack Black.
So it's affordable and it smells kind of the same?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Is it like a man? It's a man thing though. So it's like, it's not
Yeah.
really yeah, that's probably why I don't really know about it. But it sounds, so yeah, that's interesting. I haven't really gone into the like Trader Joe's non-food items that much. So this is interesting. Okay. Do you do other stuff from there? Like, do you do like their toothpaste and all that crap?
No,
Okay.
it's
So
just the body wash.
just the body wash.
Where I live, the Trader Joe's is like the parking lot maybe has like 30 parking spaces.
Yeah. That's how they are.
Yeah.
That's
And
like
so,
a whole thing. Yeah.
yeah, like getting in and out is so difficult. And so I don't love crowds
Yeah.
and I can't go on off times. And so it's just get in and out with the body wash. And every once in a while, we'll buy a bottle of wine there because they do have good wine.
They do have good wine. That's a good point. But you don't get any snacks, like no like peanut butter filled pretzels or anything? Nothing.
So see,
Junky.
I'm on the short bus when it comes to that because like I have celiac and so everything with gluten in it, I can't do.
Yeah.
So like if they have like marshmallows and things like that, then yes, I'm all in.
Yeah. Okay.
Marshmallows or caramel or gummy like type things, I'm there for it.
Have you tried the chocolate covered gummy bears?
I have not.
Those should be gluten free. Those I think.
Oh, they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay. Okay. I love that. I love the different take on Trader Joe's. See, this is why I need guests on here because it's opening up my brain to new things. Okay. And the wine's a good answer. I always love wine. Okay. So Trader Joe's, let's move on to the next question, which is I saved it for second because I feel like it might be a longer answer. You and I connect over this stuff. What is your favorite conspiracy theory?
Ooh, I don't know if I have one. I kind of love them all because they're so fascinating. But if I had to narrow it down, I would say that it's probably somewhere either I have two that I think are very intriguing. It's the Federal Reserve and how a lot of people think that we are being run by a cabal.
Uh-huh.
And that is just very intriguing to me.
Okay. Tell me more about that cabal. Like, what do they think?
Well, they think that there are a certain number of families back, if it's attached to the Federal Reserve, they think there's a certain number of families. It's either 6 or 8. It's the families that came together to start the Federal Reserve. And they believe that because the Federal Reserve is a private bank.
Yeah.
When it's called the Federal Reserve, like everybody thinks it's associated with the government. And so they think that these group of these very wealthy families that came together to make this reserve, that somehow they are running the government and running the world.
Do you think they are? Do you believe it?
I don't know.
It's enough that you're interested in it.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Do I think that we're run by a cabal? No. Do I think that there are people who are very influential around the world and kind of pull strings here and there? Sure.
Is this like Vanderbilt's and is it that whole thing? Like, okay.
It's the Rothschilds,
Yeah.
the Morgans, I have them all. Keep them in my notes section because
Yes.
I'm like, I try to keep up with all of this.
Yeah. Have you done a bunch of reading on it? Where do you read stuff? Do you have like...
So I've read here and there stuff, but mostly it's from conspirators who are talking about it on either like lectures or podcasts or YouTubes like that.
Yeah.
Kind of.
When did you get interested in conspiracy theories?
I have been a person who always recognizes patterns. Whether patterns mean anything or not, that's questionable.
Yeah.
But watching patterns, okay, that person has said that 3 times. What does that mean? Or like when I'm watching movies, there's that tendency to be able to kind of figure it out because it's looking for all the patterns that are showing up.
Yeah.
And to me, conspiracies are all about trying to make sense of patterns that you see. And so do I think that they all make sense? Not necessarily, but I think that as soon as I was old enough to recognize that conspiracies were like these theories were a thing, they were always intriguing to me.
Yeah. Do you feel like as a therapist, do you feel like looking for patterns, like that's where you start? Like because you're a therapist, you look for patterns in people and are you just like so intrigued by human behavior? Is that part of it?
I think it is the intrigue of human behavior, but I also think it's I think it's both. I think it's like the sense or the meaning that we make out of it.
Yeah. Why do you think people love conspiracy theories? Like, why are we into that?
So the research, I had a feeling that this was going to come up.
Okay.
A little research on like what that looks like in, like what does the field of psychology say about that? And there's sort of three categories that researchers put this into. One is called epistemic, which is its bottom line is that desire to understand things.
Yeah.
The meaning that we make out of it. Like when an event is really confusing, we want it to make sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. We need like to fill in the blanks there. And yeah, the story needs to have a loop. Okay.
Right. The other is, existential. And so it's that wanting to stay safe or feel like we have some sense of control. So it's like that idea of feeling less anxious or feeling like we have some sort of power in a situation that we feel is so out of control. 9/11, there's so many conspiracies around that, and so it's like, did these people really hijack planes or did the building blow up from the inside?
Yeah.
It would feel so much better if the building blew up from the inside to know, right? Or it would feel better to believe that the planes hit the building.
Yeah.
Right. So
just to know. Yeah. The control of, that makes a lot of sense. It's all about control. Okay. That's the second one. What's the third one?
The third one is the social. It's that desire to feel good about us and our group, like the kind of the world at large. Like we want to belong, we want to feel valued, and we want to feel smart. We want to feel we're in the right or in the know.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's become like a much more widespread thing in the last, even maybe couple years. I feel like you've probably been into it for a long time from what I know about you, and same with me sort of, but I feel like now almost everyone's sort of like more into conspiracies than they used to be. Do you think that?
I do.
And what do you think that's from? Is that just the culture is so, we have more information or we need more control?
So we are, for the first time in, 350 years, I believe, we are in a new epistemological era, meaning that the way we understand the world has completely shifted from the Enlightenment era to the postmodern era.
Okay.
And so in the postmodern era, everything's relative. And so we're constantly asking questions. We're constantly saying, okay, but that's not my experience. And so in all of that, I do think that we're less likely to believe authority. Because in the Enlightenment era, and I said 350 years, I think it's less than that.
Okay.
So don't quote me on that. But
that's all right, I won't. Nothing's quotable on here. I mean, I won't quote you on that one. But no, that makes a lot of sense. Like the authority thing. I don't know. I just feel like I feel like I would never even have talked about this a couple years ago because people just think, oh, you're crazy. You don't trust the government or whatever it is. And now nobody does. Like you're almost crazier if you do.
That's true. But you see, honestly, I look at that and I go, that right there is the difference between the Enlightenment era and the postmodern era.
Yeah.
In the postmodern, everything's relative and we don't trust from the top down. In the Enlightenment, we had authority figures. You climb the ladder, if you will, or the staircase up to the top. And so the older person was the authority, or the more educated person was the authority. Right. They handed down information and you took it because the authority said it.
Interesting.
And now you look at that and people don't trust necessarily. They don't trust doctors. They don't trust, their lawyers. They don't trust politicians, which is probably not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like we don't trust, like you said, the government. We just don't trust authorities anymore.
Do you feel like as a therapist that's affected you with clients? Like, do you feel like people push back or don't trust you as much? Or has that not quite gotten there yet?
I love that question. I think I want people to not come in and look at me as an authority.
Okay.
And so, because I'm not here to tell them how to live their life, I'm here to join with them in a professional sense, but in an interpersonal, professional relationship.
Yeah.
And so a give and take, right? So when people come in and say, I don't know if I buy that, it's like, great. Let's talk about that. Why not? What part of it doesn't fit? Like, oh my gosh, no, that is my favorite thing.
Really? Okay. I kind of like that.
I love the pushback. Somebody said the other day to me, they were like, I said, contempt in your marriage, contempt is the number one predictor of divorce. And they said, I don't buy it. And I said, great. Tell me why. Like, let's talk that through.
Yeah.
And then what it came down to was the person was saying they didn't have contempt for their partner, but you don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not selling anything other than time.
That's so interesting though. Like, I like that about you. I mean, you're not my therapist, so we'll start there. I didn't say that originally, but I think why you're successful and why people like you as a therapist is because you don't come in and say, here's the bottom line and here's what you should do. Not that that's what therapists should do, but I think some kind of come off that way of like, well, here are the things. And I feel like what you do really well is ask questions. And like, speaking of that, your new book, Wait, Where Am I in This? It is a question. Even the title is a question. Yes. And I kind of just want I want to kind of segue into that now and talk about your book, because I feel like, wait, where am I in this? Let me just have you tell a little bit about your book. Give me like a brief overview so anyone who just has no idea can just know what it's about.
So the title, like as you said, is a question that I hope everyone begins to ask themselves. And the title is Wait, and I'll get to that. Where am I in this? And because there's not enough acronyms in my field, I felt like I needed to come up with an acronym. And it just so happens that the acronym is, where am I in this? Mm-hmm. But it's also the pause. You don't want to push past pause, because if you push past pause, then you don't have a whole lot of success asking the question. So let's get to the question. Then where am I in this? Really, it's a start line, because what I have found meeting with people for as long as I have, which is almost 30 years, not quite, is that people come into my office looking to change the world around them, not necessarily trying to change themselves. And what we all have to realize is I don't have power or control to change the world. I do have influence if I'm careful. And I don't mean careful like, walk on eggshells kind of careful, but I mean if I'm aware of my impact. Yeah. Right? And considerate. That's probably a better word than careful.
Yeah, the people around you and what the situations.
Right.
Why do you think we look like, so you say people come in, they want to change the people around them. That I resonate with that. Like you want to say like, my parents are so controlling. My husband does this wrong and I wish he did this. And we look externally always is like to solve it. Why do we do that instead of start with ourselves?
I honestly think that it is because we're trying to quiet the storm that's going on inside of us. Because take your example, if a person's parents are controlling, where does that leave them? What does that person experience? Right? Typically, they have the feeling of like, I'm not trusted. I hear often that it's like if they have controlling parents, it's they don't believe in me. They don't believe in me, then do I believe in me? And it happens in a split second, but it's I must not be worthy. Therefore, I have to go prove my worth. Right? We don't want to feel the things that we feel because it might be too big. We might believe wrongly that it's too big for us to overcome. Does that make sense?
That makes that actually, say that again. We don't want to feel the say that one again.
Yeah. We don't want to feel the things we feel.
Yeah.
Because we believe wrongly that they'll be too big to overcome.
That's huge. Yeah. That resonates a lot with me because, and then we want to put it on someone else because if they just change, it'll settle me too. Like, but that's not how it works, is what you're saying in this book.
No, it's not. And I want to say this too, is that attachment begins like in the womb.
Yeah.
Attachment though, from until you're about age 2, really is externalized, right? Because there's no sense of self. Their brain isn't developed yet.
Yeah. They're just one with their mom or, caretaker.
Caregiver, right. And so part of that is just that natural growth trajectory.
Yeah.
But by the time we have language, we do start to be able to set boundaries and to understand, wait, I have desires too. And so we should be internalizing attachment at that point. But oftentimes I think that, it's scary to look inside. And, like I said, we don't do that.
Yeah. So when someone comes to you and they're like, in a marriage, let's say, and they're like, we're on the brink of divorce or a breakup or whatever it is. And they're like, I just wish he would stop, being so mean or not paying attention to me. And that's when you ask them this question, wait, where am I in this? Is that when you would start this question?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yes.
So what does that look like?
So a wife comes in and says, her husband and wife come in. She starts down the path of, he's just so disrespectful. He doesn't even care about me. And he's sitting there with his face all scrunched up going, what?
Yeah.
But sitting quietly because he's going to wait for his turn. That's usual. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But he's over defending himself and he's like, well, give me an example. Well, you always leave your clothes on the floor. And what you're telling me with that is that you don't think I'm valuable. Mm. And I will eventually, stop them, especially if this is more than the first 2 or 3 sessions, and say, but where are you? Where are you in that moment? Hmm. And it takes the first few passes at this. Okay, the first probably 50 to 100 passes at this is it's unsettling and jarring to the person hearing it. What do you mean? Where am I? I'm right there having to do all the laundry.
Right.
And it usually goes back. But when we get to it, this is all the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Okay.
But what I saw with one couple was she stopped and said, I guess I just feel overlooked. Hmm. And she was starting to do her own personal work outside of the marriage. And she said, yeah, I think I've felt that way since I was, and named an age.
Yeah.
And kind of went into her backstory about where that had come from. And what you find when you ask this question is you begin to uncover patterns that show up in your life, right? And that you're reacting and responding typically to something that something that may not be directly connected to what's going on. It may just activate that feeling. And that's when, she was giving him a $5 response to what the crowd would say was a 10-cent event.
Yeah. But she's recognizing over time, she always feels like people treat her like that. And it's not about, again, even me saying that, it's like, it's not that people, but is that something she allows, would you say? Or is it depend on the situation?
It could be.
Allow that.
Yeah,
we allow ourselves to be treated a certain way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that we allow ourselves to be treated that way, but sometimes I think we interpret ourselves being treated that way.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Well, keeping on this same couple, he's leaving his clothes there and, leaving his dishes out and not cleaning the sink and all that. And when she expressed this, like, I feel overlooked and and not cared for, he stops and he actually got teary-eyed. And he said, that's the last thing I want to cause you to feel. I don't want my behavior to send that message because it's not that for you. Yeah. He was like, I always fill up your car with gas. I always make sure that, that your oil is changed, that your tires are cared for. I always make sure that the lawn looks good. And I've always wondered why you don't care about that. I don't think you care about me.
Interesting.
And they were able to, she kind of got her face all squinched up and said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I just thought you did it because that's what you liked.
Yeah. It's so interesting. This book has really helped me. I feel like I've been in therapy a long time. I'm not in right now, but on and off for my whole life, really. I've gone to therapy here and there. And I've never, it's like you sit and you work through these issues, whatever it is, with your parents or relationships or just self-worth or whatever. And it always takes a long time to kind of like talk it over. And then next week you go back and you talk it over and you finally get there. And I feel like what's interesting about this question in this book And I've done this now. I do it with my friends and my family. Like when they're coming to me with an issue, they're like, well, I'm just feeling like he never listens to me, whatever. And I'm like, well, where are you? And I start doing, where are you in that? And
Yeah.
I'm starting to use this theory. But when I read the book, and honestly, I worked on this book with you with marketing and stuff like that. So I really dug into it. And I was like, wow, this is actually changing how I think through every scenario in my life. And I feel like it cuts out years of therapy of like, instead of, and I'm not just saying that, like, instead of going back every week and going, and this week my mom did this and this, whatever. It's like, I just can do it internally, read this book and then ask myself, like, when I'm feeling, I don't know, like really guilty, this is one I struggle with, right? About not doing everything I should for people or something. Where am I in that, right? And I just ask myself that question. And it's like a hack. This is like a hack that I want everyone to know, because you're sitting there, right, with these people and you can do it with them. But like, people can do this on their own without a therapist.
Yes.
And what about though, when the husband or whoever you're dealing with isn't in there with you? Like, let's say you're dealing with this couple, right, that you're talking about, but he's not willing to come or whatever to therapy. How does she process and deal with that without having that conversation?
What a great question.
I'm going off script here. Sorry.
Please. This is
Okay.
fantastic. I love that question because that shows up so often in my office. Somebody comes in, whether it's their partner, whether it's a family member, whether it's a roommate, a friend, a coworker, whatever relationship it is. And what do you do when they don't understand this?
Yeah.
You stay grounded in you. And so can I nerd out just a second and
Please.
give you some terms?
Yeah.
So in psychology, there is the intrapersonal awareness, which is self-awareness. Then there is the interpersonal awareness, which is self plus others. So it's us plus others. But notice what's in both definition. It's the me. Intrapersonal is me. Interpersonal is me plus we.
Yeah.
It's me plus you. It's us, right? So there has to be a grounded you, me, in every relationship.
Yeah.
I have to be grounded in myself first. Then I have the opportunity to see if it's possible to connect with you. And what I've seen a myriad of things that have happened when one partner in a marriage or in a relationship comes in and really starts working on themselves and really starts showing up themselves to that interpersonal relationship.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is it really exposes what's going on in their partner. That may sound really rough, but what happens is that the wife who shows up and her husband won't, like you said, it either starts exposing what's going on in him, and she either offers the invitation for him to say, so tell me where you are in this. And he either accepts the invitation or he doesn't.
Yeah.
And I've had some people who show up and they say, I have extended the invitation to the point that I feel like I am standing in a clearing with snipers all in the trees.
Yeah.
No longer willing to go out there. And, then they're faced with then what comes next for my relationship.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've worked through with some people is to say, I'm actually really not interested in hearing about me from you. But if you want to talk to me about you, I'm wide open to hear.
Yeah. Well, I think that's such a mature thing to get to. I think there's this confusion with like being selfish and self-focused and narcissistic. And I know you talk about that, of like, it's not about just making it all about yourself, but it is, if you know yourself and you're comfortable with yourself and your behavior and you're your healthiest, this is like really what I take from this, then like you said, you'll connect with the people you connect with that are healthy versions too. No one's perfect. There's going to be trouble in every dynamic and relationship. But if you are really setting the bar for your health, then you're also content with yourself, I think. Like, is that true? Like, it helps your self-worth, to be like, I'm doing this the best. I'm as healthy as I can be. And if they're not, that's something I think a lot of people in this that are listening even struggle with, of like, but I'm doing all the work and other people aren't. And I like, I'm just lost here and alone. And it's like, it's true sometimes, maybe, but
It is. It can be.
yeah.
But then my big question is, and this is a little controversial potentially, and
I love controversy on this podcast. You know that.
But it's then I may need to evaluate the people that I'm surrounding myself with.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you cast aside people, but you may need to reorganize how they show up in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people come in and say, I have this friend, I'm always doing for them. They always ask, they never reciprocate. It's like, well, where are you in the midst of that? Oh, no. I love to give. Okay. At some point do you love being demanded of? And if you love to give, fantastic. If you're doing it because it's what you hope to do and you have it to give away.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it out of a place of either resentment or of reserves that you do not have, I mean, it's like a philanthropic organization coming to you and saying, hey, Jill, could you make a $6 billion donation, to kids without cars? That would mean so much to the kids that need cars. We could buy them Maseratis. We can get a few Porsches. We could have a few Lamborghinis. Could you please make that donation? When it's dollars, we look at it and say, what?
Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have the money.
I don't have the $6 billion to give you.
Yeah.
I have $10, $15, not billion, but
yeah,
dollars that I'm willing to part with.
Yeah.
Or I have none. I don't think kids need cars. I think they should learn to ride bikes. I don't know.
And spell cars right. Yeah. No.
Like, I'm not giving any money to you people who can't spell.
No. Change your theme song. Yeah, but yeah, you don't have it. But when it's not money, when it's like serving someone, or we just say yes.
And we think we should, because we were taught that we think we should, and we were taught that that is the loving, kind thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially if you grew up in a Judeo-Christian home.
Yeah. It's about being selfless and giving. And why do you think we struggle so much with guilt then for that? Like, is that just how we were raised? Or is there something more innate?
I think it's the expectation that we are supposed to live outside of ourselves. And I think coming from the culture the Enlightenment culture, there really is a lot there, or that epistemological era, if you will.
Yeah.
That moves us from this place of giving where we may not have to give. We're supposed to do what we're told.
Yeah.
To a place now to where it's all about me. It's me centered. And again, people look at that and say, oh, you're just swinging with the pendulum. Like you said, is this making people selfish or narcissistic? And to your point, you won't be selfish with this. If you think about it, if I'm demanding that you change to suit me,
yeah,
isn't that selfish?
Yeah.
I'm asking you to make me feel better.
Right.
As opposed to saying, I'm going to deal with me. Now I'm asking you if you would deal with the parts of you, and then we can deal with us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's taken me a lot of decades to kind of realize that and be like, no, literally the only thing you have control over is yourself. You can hear that a million times, but you really have to like learn it the more that you're in relationships and, different situations. But I feel like, do you think that's because we're just really disconnected from ourselves? And if so, how do you know if you're disconnected from yourself?
I think that the disconnection from ourselves shows up, one, in our language, because it's like you're saying, I had somebody the other day sit down and talk to me, and they said, okay, so how do I phrase this question so that they, and I said, stop right there. You can't, so that they.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about how to phrase this question so that you will feel good about how you're saying it, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
But if you're asking how to say something so it will magically unlock a door, you don't have that power. That is a delusion.
Yeah. I think we're trained. It resonates so much with me. And I think a lot of people will think this, like, we are supposed to think about others. That's just how you are supposed to, especially certain dynamics. If you're a youngest child or an oldest child or whatever the dynamics might be, or if, like you said, if you grew up in a faith base where that was a real focus, you're a missionary or whatever it is, and we're so disconnected from ourselves. But if we really figure out and learn ourselves and who we are and what we're bringing to the world, like you say, write yourself to bring it to the world versus writing the world for you, because you can't correct and write the world. It's just not, it's a task that's, one, you're not capable, but even if you could, you don't have time, like, so you only can work on yourself, really.
Yes, and think about how amazing the world would be if we all showed up centered in who we are and offered what we could offer.
Yeah.
I think about like the political divide.
Yeah.
That political ideological divide. Well, I don't want to talk to you because you're far right or you're far left.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if we said, well, I don't hold those beliefs, but tell me why you do. And there's no fear. I had a really good friend of mine who started understanding these principles, and he read the book, and he said that he had somebody that he was very good friends with that he had basically written off because of their political ideology had come up in recent years. And he said, I stopped fearing that his ideology was going to infect me somehow. I'm centered on what I know and believe, and therefore I don't need to change this person. This person can't change me, so I can feel more safe and secure to be in relationship. And they started talking again. Now they have dinner all the time.
Yeah.
Go out and get some whiskey drinks.
Yeah. Well, we do. We overthink everything, I think, and everything has to be like, it's just overthought. That's part of this podcast too. It's like we're overthinking, like, how am I showing up? How do I look to them? And it's like, if you are truly confident in yourself and you know what you want, what you like, it'll be more natural. But it's so hard, Lee. It's so hard. Why is it so hard?
It is so hard. Oh, Lord Jesus, it's so hard.
So if someone's listening right now and they're like, I do feel disconnected from myself. I'm always like looking out for my kids and my partner and my coworkers and everything else. And I really don't even know myself, or that they just feel disconnected, right? Like, where do you start? How do you, first of all, read the book, but like, how do you start connecting to yourself and knowing where you are? And it's locating yourself in every situation. How do you do that?
This is, the book started out with a different title. And I changed the title of the book because I want this question to become mainstream. My hope is that it will. And the place you start is asking the question, wait, pause, take a beat, and evaluate, where am I in this moment? Not in the world. It's not a global thing. That's great, but do that in your contemplation and meditation time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more about, where am I in this moment? And it's, what do I think? What do I feel? What do I believe? And what am I experiencing? And before we push it out to the world, it just have a sense of what it is.
Yeah. So
that you begin to show up on the map. Because once we answer that question, where am I in this? That is your start line. That's not the finish line.
Yeah.
Some people have come to me and said, okay, I know where I am. Great. Now I'm all ready to tackle the world. It's like, okay, but tackle the world how?
Yeah.
Where are you wanting to go? Now that you know where you are, now it's time to make the plan to where you want to go. Yeah. And we typically, in answering that question, discover three things that prevent us. And it's mind reading, it's the patterns that we've grown up with, and it's this illusion of control, which we've talked about all those. But
we'll talk about mind reading, because I think that's something people struggle with, of like, you're in a situation, right? And you're like, they're not getting back to me. They haven't replied to me. They must hate me. They're mad at me, or they don't like me anymore, or, whatever it is. And I do this with texting and stuff, like emails a lot. You spiral like, oh my gosh, that's the end of the world, and how do I stop mind reading and thinking about what they're thinking?
Okay. So let's take your example.
Okay.
Who is doing what in your mind when you're doing that about an email?
Yeah.
Where are you focused on, you or them?
No, I'm focused on them not replying.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And therefore, like a conspiracy theory, we have to make meaning out of it. Our brain needs to make meaning out of it. So instead of making meaning about us, we make meaning about them. Make sense?
So how would I make the meaning about me?
What am I feeling that I haven't been responded to? What am I thinking?
So I'm just going to go through this with you. Okay. So I'm feeling insecure.
Okay. About
that I like sent something, whether it was thoughtful or a work thing or whatever, put some time and energy into it, or took a risk and said something, and they're not replying to me. They don't care.
That's about who?
That's about them.
So come back to you.
Yeah. So
or if they don't care, what do I feel? If that's the thing I've made up in my mind, what do I feel?
I feel neglected and I feel stupid.
Okay. Is there some fear in there?
Yeah, I'm afraid that I did something wrong or made them mad, or I don't know.
Okay. And think about made them mad.
Yeah.
Right? We can't control that. We can influence that. We can't control that.
Okay.
So we come back to us and it's like, okay, what I'm hearing you say is that I've just been vulnerable and I'm really needing some feedback.
Yeah. So I need feedback. But what happens when I don't get it? How do I talk myself out of, let's say they never reply, right?
Right.
How do I talk myself out of that?
Right. So if I'm feeling vulnerable, did I do what I wanted to do? Did I say the things the way I wanted to say them? Your answer would be?
Yeah. And let's say I'm just thinking of a random situation. Yeah, I did what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't control what they're doing. The fact that I didn't get anything back feels very vulnerable, very exposed.
Yeah.
Feel fear is what I think I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Can I sit with that fear and that exposure and that vulnerability?
Yeah, as long as if I can learn that I'm happy with what I did, I have to take off. I can't count on them doing anything. That is so hard because we are so, and I say I am so, like, I never thought I was super controlling. Like I was like, I don't think I'm just easygoing, whatever. And you learn, I'm super controlling though, like about.
We all are. We all struggle with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to take that away from you, whatever you're discovering in it.
Yeah. No, but it's good. It's good to just kind of have to keep coming back to me. I love this process, and you do this in your podcast and in the book. So if people want to hear, like, you really, I actually was going to maybe walk through one more thing with you if we could, of you walking this process out, because what wait really is, your book and this framework is like a process that people can go through when they're feeling anything, like any sort of emotion that raises. And you have this great analogy you talk about like when you're at the mall or at a trail and you're trying to get somewhere to a store in the mall, and you have to go to that big map. I'm telling your story for you, but you go to the big map and you say, you find the store. But if you don't find where you are on the map, and this is me just stealing your analogy, so everybody just know that, because we've talked about this a million times, but if you don't find you are here, how the heck are you going to get to the store? And that helps me so much, that visual.
Yeah.
Or else you're just wandering around the mall hoping. And so that's the same with people. It's like you're just wandering around hoping maybe they'll reply, or maybe they're not mad, or maybe it doesn't work like that though.
Yes.
And it's just ruminating.
It is ruminating, and it's sitting in that fear that, did I do this okay?
Yeah.
And it's okay for who?
Yeah.
I said what I wanted to say. I said it in the way that I said it. If they have feedback for me that I cannot see, I will absolutely entertain that feedback. I'm not saying shut off feedback.
Yeah.
But it's until you tell it to me, I don't have any access to it. So why would I make it up?
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to be accurate. Even if I am, I'm stealing an opportunity from you and me from the two of us having some sort of a meaningful conversation.
Yeah. And if we can't understand other people, which we can't often, right? Like at least we can understand ourselves, I think. And that is very helpful, at least for me, to know like, I don't get them. I don't know what's going on with them, whatever it is. But here's what's going on with me. And then I can just settle a little bit. And that's so helpful. But I do want to ask you to talk me through this. So you do this on your podcast, you have anonymous guests on there and they bring an issue to you and they say like, I'm struggling with this. What can you talk me through it? And you go through this. So can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't want to get too personal. So I'm going to do something because like people, I don't know, my friends and family listen to this, right? So one thing I've really been dealing with lately is like I get real ragey on the roads, like when I'm driving. Like the other day I was driving down this road I go down every day. And this person gets behind me and is like tailing me and whatever. And finally they get to this spot and they go, instead of just like there was a turn coming, they cut through this grassy part to get in front of me that's not the road. Like they just were, and I was going the speed limit. It wasn't like I was, whatever. And I like raged and I like just got on their tail after that and was like, like it was not a pretty thing. But I was kind of like, okay, why am I raging so much at strangers in these situations? So how would you like approach this with me?
So in that moment, when you are feeling that rage,
yeah,
where are you? What is, because rage is, I would say, tertiary. It's like a third level emotion.
Okay.
What's underneath the rage?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm just feeling like I'm not doing anything wrong. Why are you like, it's just like annoyance, maybe annoyance.
Okay.
A little fear because they're right on my tail.
Okay. So I'm feeling some fear. Annoyance and rage have a big delta between them.
Okay.
Anything between that?
It just, yeah, like.
Is there a threat?
A threat? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, like you're going to hit me or I'm distracted because I have to pay attention to make sure you're not going to like run into me or also like, I know there's things of like, they could be in a rush or something, but it's like, what's your problem? I feel like I'm just like, I go, no, it's like, it's annoyance. I don't know.
But if it's what's your problem, where's that located?
On them.
Right. So if you come back to you,
yeah,
what are you experiencing there?
I'm also like, I'm annoyed that they're not doing it right either. Like they're not following the rules. Which is where? On them.
So come back to you because not following the rules does what to me?
See, this is so hard. It makes me feel I don't trust the situation.
Right. And when I don't trust the situation, what happens inside of me?
I get nervous and yeah, I don't know what's going to happen.
And therefore I don't know how to respond. I don't know what's coming toward me. So there's an uncertainty and don't take control here as something that's negative.
Yeah.
We need to have control over ourselves.
Yeah.
So I feel a little out of control.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
And so if I feel uncertain, out of control, and vulnerable, I'm assuming, but that's kind of what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah.
Because you're behind me, you're right up on my tail, and I don't have power and control over you. Therefore, I'm feeling out of control, uncertain, and kind of like I'm losing power over the situation.
Yeah, that is exactly it. Losing power is a good way to put it.
So when I lose power, how do I get my power back? This is why I say anger is a secondary emotion.
Well, that's what I wonder like, so, I mean, there's things like in this situation, I can't pull off the road because there's no shoulder, there's nowhere to go, right? So like, but I retaliated. Like I then did the same thing back to them and like got on their butt and was like yelling and swearing, giving the finger and things like that. So like I'm reacting, I'm raging.
Well, right, because what are you trying to do there?
Gain my control back and my power.
Yeah, I'm going to teach you a lesson, you fill in the blank with all the beeps.
Yeah. but I feel also like they're disrespecting me and the rules of the road. Like I feel kind of disrespected
Okay,
in that.
Good, good. So when I'm disrespected, what do I want to do?
What do I want to do when I'm disrespected? I want to earn respect, I guess. Like,
From?
well, that's a good question because I guess from them or from other people, authorities, whoever it might be.
Could I push here?
Yeah, please.
What about respecting yourself?
Yeah, what acting like that after is not respecting myself. So maybe I wasn't respecting myself in that situation.
I feel like we give it away and then we try to get it back from the person that we gave it away to when it just flew right past them because they don't have a place to put it.
Yeah.
And so now we're trying to grab something from them that they don't have the power to give because it has to come from within inside. So when you're driving along and somebody's tailing you, would you be open to the idea of saying to yourself, this is really hard for me right now?
Yeah.
This feels very uncomfortable. I feel out of control. How will I gain my control? Well, I'll think through. If he runs into the back of me, then I'll maneuver in this way or that way. If he sideswipes me, then I'll maneuver in this way or that way. But at the end of the day, it's probably just going to be a really inconvenient insurance issue.
Yeah. Do you in the moment think through all of those things? Like, so where am I in this? I'm feeling disrespected. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling really angry. Because in that moment when it's heated, all I feel is angry, right? Like I'm just, so if I stop and ask myself that question,
Yes.
it'll help me find what's behind the anger.
Yes, because I was on a road one day, driving down the highway, and I'm coming off of the highway to a stopped traffic, and I drive a big truck, and means I need a little more space. It's not a big truck; it's just a regular truck, but I needed a little more space to stop. And this guy in a little car preemptively comes out and almost, I would have T-boned him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had both feet on the brake going, God, please don't let me hit him because it would have killed him.
Yeah.
And I was like, immediately anger came. Why? Because when we're afraid and we need to act, anger comes just like that.
Yeah.
Right? And so here I am in this fit of just fury. And I was like, where are you in this, Lee? Where are you? Come back to you. Come back to you. What are you feeling? I'm angry. Angry why? Because you.
Yeah.
Because I don't have control over this situation.
It all comes back to control a lot of times, doesn't it? That's such a huge, go ahead.
What I had to realize was it's come back into me. I have control over me. So I just stopped. And then I looked and there's this big concrete barrier there and there's cars parked here. And I thought, what if he gets out of his car?
Yeah. Yeah.
He has a gun, if he has whatever. And I was like, well, you're going to have to navigate that. Even if you get out of your car, what do you do when somebody has a gun? You run in a squiggly line so that they can't aim at you and shoot you. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds morbid, but it was all of this stuff going through my mind going, okay, you're in control of you. I can't control what he does. And then he kept trying to cut me off as I was trying to get away from him. He would try to come to me. Finally, I just backed way off and like motioned some cars to go by and tucked back in way back there and thought, this is how I regain my control.
Yeah, I think that's such a good visual even of control. It's like with the driving situation, that's so specific and it's road rage and all this stuff. But even in general life situations, when someone is all up in our business or whatever's happening, we have to kind of back off, find ourselves and get that control underneath in our own. It's like maybe pull off the side of the road, whatever in that situation, but in our own lives too. It's like find a space, calm down, journal it, whatever, ask where you are and find that emotion. And that's what your book really helped. I've read it a million times and I keep reading it because it's like, and doing this with you, I'm not there yet. But I think the listeners are really going to learn about themselves in this and be able to like navigate relationships better, which is why I wanted you to talk about it. And like, I want everyone to get your book because I genuinely think it's really helpful.
Thank you.
There's like, it's simple, but it's not easy to do. So it takes practice.
It's a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And the greatest thing that you could do is to acquaint yourself to the greatest gift that you've been given, which is you.
That's a good line right there. I like that.
Thank you.
If someone is resonating with this, they're going to get the book, they're going to read it. But what can they do right now in this moment, like in whatever situation they're dealing with, where they can go like, how do I start? How do I start reconnecting with myself and finding myself if I feel like lost and disconnected?
I think the biggest thing that a person can do is slow down and ask themselves, wait, that's the slow down part. Where am I in this? And when you discover that, the questions really in that is, what do I think? What do I feel? What do I experience? And what do I believe? Just keep a running understanding of this, because it'll illuminate patterns. It'll show you when you're trying to control things that aren't yours to control. It'll show you when you mind read other things. And it's coming back into and tucking into you. Making sure, and that beginning part is ask the question. Again, that's why I changed the name of the title of the book.
Yeah.
It was for that purpose.
Yeah. It's just coming back to yourself over and over. It shouldn't be that hard because we're with ourselves all the time, but it is. We just look externally.
You do.
Thank you for sharing this. I could talk to you for 2 more hours, but I know you have a real job and all the things. So I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to put in the show notes where everyone can find your book, your podcast. And I'm a big fan of yours, and as a friend and an author and a therapist. So thank you for being a Take a Jill Pill guest.
Are you kidding me? This is one of my life goals, was to be a Take a Jill Pill guest.
Awesome. Hopefully you can come back too.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay.
But thank you, Jill. You are an incredible human, and I appreciate you and all that you do. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you to Lee for coming on and he's like a really busy guy, and he was gracious enough to come on here and share this information with us. So I hope you'll go get his book and listen to his podcast and follow him on socials and all the things. I'll put all that in the show notes. He's helped me a lot, and I just really am a big fan of him and his whole family. So thank you, Lee. And one other thing about his book that I wanted to say, he tells a lot of stories about people and like the situations that they go through that are in his office. I mean, they're obviously like, he changes the names and stuff like that. But I think you'll find yourself in one or many of his stories. Like, you're going to find your own situation, whatever you're dealing with. So that's what I love about this book. It's really for everybody. So make sure you go get that. And then I would love to hear what you think about it after you've read it. All right. Also, guys, this is a long episode. So in this format, I'm not doing top 5 and listener questions. We'll get to that next week. But I will do a Jill pill just because, it's Take a Jill Pill. So let's end on taking a Jill pill together, okay? It only makes sense for us to kind of grab something from this as our Jill pill because there was so much, right? So this is sort of like the Lee pill, I would say. I'm going to give him credit for this. But the Jill pill for the week is you can only control yourself. You can have influence other places, but you are only in control of yourself. So get control of yourself. It's harder than it sounds. It sounds easy. It's not that easy, but you can't control everybody else. I try. I know we all do, but that's the Jill pill. Just, you can only control yourself. All right. I hope you guys have a great week. Happy summer, all the things. I appreciate you listening. You can find me at Jippy Music on Instagram, or Take a Jill Pill Podcast on Instagram, or you can go to takeajillpill.com. You can subscribe, you rate and review if you enjoy this podcast. I would love it. And I'm just grateful for you guys. I appreciate this place as somewhere we can talk about all kinds of things, So thank you for listening. Thanks for being here. And until next time, be good. Take a Jill pill. Bye.